Hello, welcome to Art Appreciation, a moment of calm and quiet reflection in your day. Today it's about still life paintings of the Dutch golden age of the 17th century, focusing on A Table of Desserts by Davidsz de Heem, which was painted in 1640. He was considered the greatest still life painter of his generation. The painting's in the Louvre, Paris, and it's 8 feet wide. The term still life as a type of painting was first used by the Dutch. In earlier painting, cameos of fruit, flowers or objects were represented, but they weren't the sole focus of the image, they were in the background. With the development of oil painting by Dutch artists in the 15th century, much more depth of colour and flexibility was possible. Dutch 17th century still lifes continue the medieval tradition of symbolism while striving for an exact likeness of the objects. For instance, there was a type of still life called vanitas, which suggested the brevity of life, and might include a skull in the arrangement. A message being the fleeting nature of earthly pleasures and the need for moral contemplation. There was also symbolism in the inclusion of certain fruits or insects. For example, butterfly meant salvation, and the placing of a lemon, an orange and a rose together symbolised the Holy Trinity. However, there was also the influence of natural history and the botanical drawings of insects and flowers from new discoveries overseas. The Dutch had a powerful seaborne empire extending trade throughout the world and bringing with it great wealth. By the 1650s and the 1660s, the still lifes were depicting imported fruits and expensive Chinese porcelain, Venetian glassware and glistening silverware, rich tapestry tablecloths, Persian carpets, luxury items. A hyper-realistic style was used in the paintings with precision and exactness. A term first used by Hippocrates was quoted to capture the ethos of the work. Life is short, but art is long. The paintings could be enjoyed long after the objects had decayed. Still life paintings came in different groups. The banquet or breakfast still life, like the one we're looking at today, and the flower still life. The floral still life was not painted from life, but often taken from watercolour natural history drawings, constructed into a bouquet. The displays were an invention that combined flowers from different countries that would actually flower at different times. A synthesis for a cultured audience of wealthy merchants and nobility. We're used to being able to buy roses and tulips at the same time, but that wouldn't have been possible in those days. Tulips, for example, originated in Turkey and were a very precious commodity. In 1614, a type of tulip bulb was selling for 1,000 guilders each, which was 3 times the yearly wage for skilled workers. They became an investment. De Heem was hugely successful. One of his still life paintings sold for 2,000 guilders at the time, which was more than Rembrandt got for the Night Watch, which was painted around the same time. Let's take a closer look at today's painting. The more you look, the more you see. It's a contrived effect with the illusion of reality. Items are disorganised and precariously placed, yet there is a symmetry. Notice the play of light on the materials and the atmosphere that creates. The symbols of success and good living. The banquet is in a grand theatrical setting, maybe representing the aspirations of the person who owned the work. Of note, the painting was later purchased by King Louis XIV of France, the Sun King. A very expensive Chinese plate is tilted precariously, holding a range of fruit. The lute on the left represents harmony and cultivation. The globe on the right represents knowledge of geography and global trade. There is symbolism used too in the choice of fruit, grapes for redemption, and cherries as a fruit of paradise. The pocket watch with its blue strap hanging next to the lute symbolises fleeting time. Notice the textures. Imagine running your hand over the soft velvet tablecloth. The contrast in touch as you hold the white linen tablecloth. Imagine picking up a peach, its weight, its velvety texture. Imagine putting it to your face and smelling it. Or perhaps